All right, another powder coating video here. I got a new shipment of Eastwood, and so I'm going to test out some of these. So just kind of a review of the powder here, left to right. Orange, yellow. I've had vermilion, but I'm going to run a small amount of those to compare. Copper penny. I actually tried it. Didn't get results. I actually am going to mix a tiny bit of red with copper penny and see how that goes. Navy. And then we've got some silvers. Silver base, which I've used with excellent results. Reflective chrome, which I have not. It's brand new to me. And new smoke chrome. So basically going to test those out. Got some new bullets. I've got a Saeco mold 955, which is a 255 grain, old school style, 45, kind of like 45 Colt bullet. And I'm going to be loading that in 45 Super. And just some other standard 45 bullets, which you'll see. And I'm also going to test the instructions on the Eastwood powder, which says run the oven to 450 until you get a flow. And once you get a flow, then cut it to 400. So we're going to do that, see what happens, and I'm going to set up the table, and we're going to get going. Okay, here's the bullets we are going to be powder coating today. They're all 45 auto for me. Most of these probably would be great 45 Colt. This one here is my new Saeco mold. It's Saeco mold number 955. It's a 255 grain. I've already made some dummy rounds. These cycle great in my 1911. I have not loaded and fired them yet. They drop heavy. They drop between 260 is actually the lightest one I've got, up to 265, which is fine for me. Here is the NOE flat point, and I don't know if you can see, these were in my first video, and while these are the flat point pins, it's something's not lining up, and they're tightened down, so I don't know, but so it's kind of almost a flat point, so that flat point ranges about 900 grains. Yep, that's it. 249 grains to 255. The cup point version, about 240. And then the hollow point runs pretty close to 230, which is kind of cool. Then the LBT, 230 grain on the end there. It's the long flat nose. Great bullet. Drops like right at 230. You know, I know a lot of people have had a lot to say about LBT molds. They're hard to get, and you've got to wait a long time, and that's true. Keep in mind, Verrill Smith is 80 years old, and I gotta say, the guy, he's slowing down. So if you want a mold, you know, order one and be prepared to wait a little while, but I honestly, I think it's worth the wait if you can get one. So, and actually, Verrill Smith gave me that mold, so I didn't have to wait. So, but it's a used mold. Okay, so we are going to get to powder coating. I'm going to go through the same process again, though. This time with the oven, we're going to get the oven up to 450. And we're going to put it in, it says get a flow, and then cut the heat to 400. I'm going to figure 10 minutes will get us a flow, and I'm just going to cut it instead of opening the oven. Okay, so let's get that going. Okay, before we start the powder coating, I thought we'd look at a couple of, effects. Here's the copper penny, straight copper penny, or the first 5 bullets there, and I used reject bullets, figuring it probably wouldn't give a good coating, and it didn't. And I'm not even sure if they would probably shoot okay. Then this is the actual yellow orange. I did just a quick test with it, just like 5 bullets, and they came out okay, but you can see the bottom here of these hollow points, and you really got to be careful trying to shake the bullets free, because as you can see, the lead pulled apart from the base barely on that one. This one, it ripped the whole bottom off. This is another one. It just started pulling the bottom. And so, you might think, oh, well, I can remelt them, and you can. But, maybe use them as test bullets for testing new PC you're not sure is going to work out. That way you don't waste good bullets. Okay, I just checked the oven. We're a little bit below 450. So we're going to wait a second here. I thought I would show you guys what I use. These are the Ziploc Twist and Lock. 2 medium round. Ironically, they used to come in packs of 3. And I actually had to order these online, Walmart online, and they delivered them. So they're about, I don't know, like $3. So I guess $1.50 a piece, and I just bought a bunch of them. And these are going to be, let's see if we can, you can see here, number 5. Let's take a look at this Eastwood while we're at it. So this is silver base. Let's see if I can get that to focus. Let's see if we can read the instructions here. Okay. Where are the instructions? That's not them. All right, cool. Okay. All right. Preheat oven to 450. Apply powder. Place piece in oven. Once entire piece has flowed out, turn oven temperature to 400 and set timer for 20 minutes. Cure clear powders at 375 for 20 minutes after flow out to minimize possibility of yellowing. Notice, after flow out. So I don't know what that means. I'm going to figure 10 minutes or so. So, just something to consider here. A lot of people online that have used Eastwood are not following the instructions. Okay, let's check out the oven. Okay, it's the Black & Decker PC oven, and this thing is getting beat. You can't really tell, but the door doesn't stay fully shut anymore. And touch over 450. So we'll call that good. Okay. So we're going to put those in. I'm going to set the timer for 30 minutes. And at 10 minutes, I'm going to cut it back to 400 because the thermometer doesn't fit in there with the tray. And you can probably see, let's see if I can get that to focus. The 450 mark is not like the oven manufacturer's mark at 450 is not 450. I'm almost a broil here. And the line before 450, believe it or not, used to be the 400 mark, but that has been changing. I have another one of these ovens. This one, I don't know how long it's going to last. It's still working, but again, the whole point of a lot of these ovens are cheap, and when you get them at a thrift store for $10, who knows what kind of life they had before the thrift store. And yeah, you can go out and buy a $75 brand new one, or maybe $30 cheap, but I'm just saying, if you're going to go on the cheap, you have to pay attention to what your oven really does. So get a thermometer. I'd say at least 400, but 450, according to the Eastwood powder, is kind of the way to go. Okay, we got the oven going. We've got the silver base and the smoke chrome in there. Now we are going to check out the hollow points, and it's orange, yellow, and vermilion. I think Eastwood used to call their vermilion, I think they used to call it Chevy Orange, I think. Anyways, I gave a quick test run with this one, like 5 bullets, and it does work seemingly pretty good. This can be tricky. You gotta have, well, extra effort. Let's just say that. So, and these are hollow point, and the reason I'm doing the hollow points in these brighter colors is I don't have a great alloy. I'm pretty sure, well, it's rain scrap, but I'm pretty sure there's a decent amount of antimony in there. And this range I used to shoot at in Nevada, there was a lot of people who cast in PC. So I'm sure they used good alloy. A lot of, just rain scrap, and it's just all kinds of stuff in there. But my understanding, according to Elmer Keith, what he's written, Phil Sharp, and that's a great manual. It's free. It's a PDF download. You should get it if you don't have it. It's 1937, Phil Sharp, and it's Sharp with an E. And they all talk about lead and tin. And I think the deal is 20 to 1, if I remember correctly. But I don't have straight tin. I have pewter, which the pewter I have tests 20 to 24 BHN, so it's probably copper content or something else in there. At some point, I'm going to buy lead from Roto Metals. I'll get a hollow point blend. But at this point, I'm getting it for free, and I have a bunch of it left. So let's see how this stuff does. I've got some toothpicks here because, again, they're hollow point, and I'm probably going to need 2 of my pliers because the plastic BBs get stuck in there. Let's see what these are looking like here. All right. Oh yeah, this looks good. I don't know if you guys can see. Maybe you can get a look in there. Here, let's see if we can. Actually, let's do a little arranging. Let's put this over here. Oh yeah, they look really good. So what I was saying before is you'll get this going on. So to me, and there's not going to be any. Boy, oh boy, look at that. Crazy shit. All right, that's going to be fine though. And normally you get a lot of PCs stuck in the hollow point. These are kind of wide hollow points, so I'm not getting a lot of that. When I do, well, here you go. So, maybe, let me see if you can kind of see. If I can get that to focus. Probably not. Sorry. Anyways, trust me, there's some PC powder in there. I'm just going to go like this, tap it out. Otherwise, why bother having hollow points if you're going to have a bunch of, PC in there? So these are pretty wide hollow points, and I'm not getting really any PC stuck in there, which is great. When I do the, well, here you go, but it's not sticking in there. When I do rifle bullets, especially the NOE copy of the Lyman 358009, it's like 290 grain, deep hollow point. You got to work on those if you want them to really, be clear of PC powder in there. So these, I don't have to worry much. I have my toothpicks ready, but not even a lot of shaking that I'm going to need to do. This is more of the issue. You don't want to put that in the oven. Whoops. Okay. These are, and again, the whole point of this yellow, well, one is, just kind of going through the Eastwood site, they didn't have a lot of PC in stock when I was on there. So I just bought a bunch of random colors, and I don't know, it'd be cool to see this one work out. Like I said, for hollow points, if you're trying to see if you're getting a lot of fragmentation, you got to find the fragments and how far are they going. I remember the first time I cast hollow points, it was with the NOE. I actually don't know what they call it. Basically, they have a copy of the Lyman 358-318 mold, and that was a 245 grain 358 bullet, for 358 Winchester, 350 or 35 Wheeling, but because it's a hollow point, great in 35 Remington, I was shooting those at like 50 yards, and I didn't know what I was doing. I think I made them like 16 BHN, and I could see them exploding on impact. And I wanted to find the fragments, but because I did them in dark blue, I couldn't really, see what was going on. Not like you really need to see the fragments anyways. If you're getting fragmentation, you're not gonna find mushroom bullets, and regardless of how far it goes, you did the wrong alloy. So you can see maybe on this one, the hollow point kind of pulled apart a little bit, or the pin dragged on the bottom. That should be okay. All right, here we go. Nope. Okay. So these are looking pretty good. These really are. And I'm excited again to see what they do. So let me cut the camera, and I'll come back when I do the orange. Okay, we got the Eastwood yellow orange, the NOE 230 grain hollow point. They're laid out there. We got vermilion orange here. This usually works pretty well. We'll see what it does today. Usually the idea is you just got to give it a little more effort. What you saw earlier with the smoke chrome, I don't mean that kind of effort. I'm actually not sure that's going to work out. Let's see how these do. Okay. Yep, they look good. Again, this is Teflon tape here. I usually leave not a ton of powder, but I leave powder in the plastic BBs in these. And I live in an apartment, so then it goes into my storage unit, and it gets cold. And it's an outdoor unit, so I'm sure there's a fair amount of humidity there. So that's the point. All right. Let's see. We're going to be separating BBs out of the hollow points here. These look really good. Sometimes I just don't get why we get good coatings sometimes and others. I really feel like humidity has a lot to do with it, creating the best static charge you can get. Looks like the paint's sticking in these a little more. Okay, so again, we have BBs that are stuck in here. I'm just going to use 2 of these, and that was in there pretty good. I don't know if you could hear that. And if a BB gets stuck in there, you can almost guarantee you're not going to have much powder in there. All right. Yeah, see the art? It's interesting. The yellow did not stick inside the cavity. The vermilion is not bad, but definitely more. Okay, here we got a Rogue BB. Oh boy. Okay, let's get him out of there. Okay. That's not bad. And again, I'm not going to... we still have the reflective chrome to put on the tray. Look at all that powder in there. That, for some reason, had a lot in there. We're not gonna mix anything else on this tray. Look at the amount of powder in there. So let's see if we can. I mean, Jesus. What's the point of having a hollow point if you don't clear that out? I'm not even sure I'm sold on hollow points. I mean, that's the whole point of some of these tests. Yeah, the vermilion is definitely getting a lot more PC in there. And again, this is the NOE. I think they listed as their 452 232 mold, and it's really nice because the hollow point drops kind of at right around 230. The cup point, which is going to come up in some other colors in a little bit, around 240, maybe 245. It really depends on your alloy. And then the flat nose, man, it's like 250, 255. It's like everything that I want in a 45 mold. I do like the 200 grain bullet weight, pretty fast velocity, like 1,000 to 1,100 feet per second, and that's also 45 ACP plus P, 45 super. But I don't know. I mean, you could look up Hodgdon in their annual manual, CFE pistol. It's a listed load. Actually, they list up to, I want to say 1142 for a 200 grain lead semi-wad cutter, which I'm assuming they mean the 68, the classic semi-wad cutter. And I've tested that load out, and it is what they say. That's just an awesome powder. If you guys haven't tried CFE pistol I mean, I can only speak from my experience. 45 auto, 45 ACP plus P, 45 super, 380. Awesome in all those. And back to the 200 grain Unique is really amazing too. The tragedy with Unique is a couple of things. One is you just can never find the stuff. I mean, look at it this way. It's been around, I want to say 1899, I think. And so imagine all the load data out there, all the shooters that have been using it for years. So now they've married Unique. And so when these old timers see it, they're going to, snap it up. And, I'll bring up CFE pistol as an example. I was talking with Viral Smith, and he's like, yeah, I never heard of it. Because, he's an old timer, and they got the powders they like, and when something new comes out, why would they care? But Unique is a really great powder for that 200 grain. It's something I've been trying to get. I just can't get my hands on any Unique right now. But I did score like 5 pounds of CFE pistol. Look at that. I mean, you really want to clean out, or at least check them. Like, amazingly, the yellow wasn't much easier PC to coat for these hollow points. I really didn't have any powder sticking in there. And this orange is really, again, the whole point of powder coating is, if you're doing it right, you're creating a static charge. And if you're creating a static charge, it's going to stick to the bullet. And that includes inside the hollow point where you really don't want it sticking. So, you you just want to just make sure you got them covered. That has a lot of powder in there. Jesus. Let me see if I can show you guys that one. I mean, if there's an easier way to clear out hollow point, somebody comment below, because I don't know. That's what I'm doing. It works, but and again, orange in the past has proven difficult, and the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 times I've used, basically ever since I started doing the Teflon tape. It could be coincidence. It just seems like it kind of put it over the top for the right amount of static charge that it needed to get it to work. But boy, it's really working. It's really working on some of these. That's Jesus, I'm making a mess. That's really in there. Okay, now we got BB stuck in there. See if we can get that. So, and again, when I powder coat these hollow points, I am going to try and get a really good coating, which seems to help the BBs stick in there a lot more. So, that looks like it. Okay, we are going to cut the camera. I'm waiting for the oven to pop. These are going in, and then we'll set up a new tray of some new test colors. Okay, so the oven just popped. We're going to bring the silver base and the smoke chrome over. We're going to water quench them. I'll see if I can put them in the camera for a second before we dump them. Let's see here. These things are hot as usual. Okay. You know, not a huge difference there. So, smoke chrome, silver. There they go. And the end of the video, we'll do a bullet review, and I have a feeling the color will show up a little differently, but I'm not seeing a huge difference there. So, okay, we're going to go back over to the PC table, and I think we have navy blue and Cadillac blue up next. Okay, we are wrapping it up. On the tray there, you can see some vermilion and the orange yellow, and just a few left of the silver base. And last but not least, I've got some reflective chrome we're going to put on this last tray. I don't know, maybe they'll look different. We will see. So let us give it a shake, or 2 or 3. 4. And what we can do is, I'll get them right up close once we get them on there and compare. This is a new piece, so sometimes these parchment, you cut them out and they get squirrely on you. So I'm gonna see. What are we gonna do here? I will put this pair of scissors on here until we can get some bullets on here to hold them down. So, okay, reflective chrome, Eastwood. Silver base is right there. So what did we do tonight for the silver powders? We did silver base, new smoke chrome, and then this is called reflective chrome. So let's just see. Let's see if if it's sticking. It's okay. I mean, it's not horrible. I like to see the powder stick to where you can't see the bullet shine. And for what it's worth, when you powder coat these silver or chrome, Are you really going to be able to tell anyways? I mean, and then you have an argument for, I know some people have issues with a bullet that won't chamber because the PC gives you 1,000th or 2 or 3,000ths of an inch more thickness. So at the ogive, if you get too much, even actually not that little of a diameter change, it can have an effect. So think of it that way. Using a PC that coats lighter could give you a benefit there. Okay. Oh, Jesus. Look at all that. Not horrible, not great, but we'll see how they come out. So let's see if we can get some of these on the paper here. Actually, they look okay. You can, I don't know if you can tell, the reflective chrome is like a little bit, at least from the powder coloring, a little bit lighter of a shade. Will that equate to more shine? I don't know. Silver base has a pretty nice shine. Like, the first time I used it, I don't even think I used it with BBs. And actually, it was a humid summer day last summer, and it coated great. And you could tell the PC was on there because it would show, like right there, it'll show some thickness on the top if you have it kind of stacked up like that. But otherwise, it looked like brand new cast bullets, basically, is what it looked like. So what is reflective chrome gonna do? We are gonna find out. I don't have a ton of these. This is the leftover NOE flat nose. So again, the 255 grain. Basically, for my 1911, which is in between 45 ACP plus P and 45 Super, I've set it up that way, and my whole point is to shoot 250 grainish weight bullets at about 900 to 1,000 feet per second. And it's basically grizzly bear defense load. Because where I go target shooting, although they're hibernating now, but where I go target shooting, they're there. Actually, I found out recently where I go target shooting, and it's totally legal. Actually, a game warden pointed the spot out to me. Where I go target shooting, it's part of the grizzly bear reintroduction area in Montana here in Flathead Valley. It's actually not a reintroduction area. I'm kind of forgetting what it's called. They've always been here. They're trying to get the populations, I guess, more at a historical level. But they're there. And again, I'm not interested in killing anything I don't intend to. But, you know, you got to be conscious of what's going on when you're in the wilderness. And where I go target shooting, it is the wilderness, but it's not like I'm going, I just drive out to a spot. But I've done a lot of backcountry backpacking in my life where you go out for 10, 12 days and it might be 60 miles round trip, which sounds like a lot, but if you condition yourself and you know what you're getting into, it's actually a lot of fun. I mean, the first day might be hard because you got a lot of pack weight, but are you really going to carry some heavy rifle or even a shotgun? You could. I mean, it's not a bad idea. But to me, a 1911 set up as 45 Super, or if you have a 10 millimeter, but I don't. And so to set up a 1911 as 45 Super with basically a couple of spring changes, really, and choosing Starline 45 Super Brass. I use Wilson shock buffs. Look at that; it's got a bit on there. You're set, and people can make the argument, oh, it's not enough or whatever. It's if you look at the ballistics, 45 Super is going to do the velocity a 10 millimeter is going to do, and it's also going to do it with a heavier bullet. Well, let's just say it this way: you can match a 45 Super per bullet weight and velocity, but then you have a bigger diameter bullet, but you can also go heavier. As far as I know, you can't shoot a 260 grain bullet with a 10 millimeter. And people have a lot to say about all this, but I mean, you got to go back to the beginning, and to me, the beginning of centerfire cartridges, at least close to the beginning, is a 45 Colt. And what was that? It was shooting a 45 caliber bullet around 250, 255 grain at 900 feet per second. Well, geez, you can get 45 ACP plus P factory ammo, and it's called Buffalo Bore. That will do that. And ironically, the bullet that they use is cast right here in Flathead Valley from Rimrock Bullets, because I met the owner of the company, Frank Brown, and he's a great guy, really into reloading. So we just kind of were talking, and I mentioned that I've been making or replicating that load because the bullet me-plat of the bullet they use, I had a hard time cycling it in, actually it was an older 45 I'm not using anymore, but I just decided, you know what, I'm going to make my own backwoods grizzly load, defense load, and so that's the point of these heavy 45 250 grain bullets. So you can see this reflective chrome. I'm leaving a bit of the powder on there, like on there. Again, this is also a test of running the oven at 450, running it for 10 minutes at that temperature, and then cutting it to 400. And just checking the oven now, which is behind me, so we're good there. So to leave a little bit extra powder on is kind of part of my experiment. I want to see if the extra temperature is going to create a flow, or if am I going to get globbing? Is it not going to have a flow from the gravity and the powder pulling down to make a more concentric bullet? Am I going to get globbing, or is that extra 50 degrees of heat in the beginning going in, just like the directions say, once you get a flow out, which I'm assuming they mean is the powder starts to melt, cut the temperature to 400. I think that's all we got. And I know a lot of people online are not doing that. And when I read and they're getting results, but when I read the instructions, I'm thinking, how much time and money has Eastwood invested in powder coating and setting a standard for their customers, and their whole point is to sell more product. And so I'm thinking, why not try what the instructions say? So, okay, as you can see, here I'm going to take here's a silver base. They're really close. I mean, if you really look, the silver base seems a little bit darker, and maybe the reflective chrome, the lighter shade, is going to be more shine. I don't know. We're going to find out. I think that's all the bullets I have to PC here. So I am going to cut it, and we're going to pick it back up, and we'll do a bullet review. Okay, here's what we did tonight. And let's see here. On the left side, we have the reflective chrome. That's the NOE 255 grain flat point. Right next to it is the new smoke chrome. That is the Saeco 955 mold. A little bit of a difference. The smoke chrome kind of looks like old lead. Next to that, we've got the navy, which to me looks kind of like purple. And if you, here, let me see if I can get in a little closer. If you can look at the top of the bullet, you can see the flat point is a little bit recessed. So, you know what I should have done? I'm going to move the silver base. Well, you know what? We'll just leave it there. Silver base is on the other end. Honestly, I can't tell the difference between reflective chrome and the silver base. Silver base seems to apply a little easier. So that's something to consider. So we got the navy, then directly in front there, we've got Cadillac blue. That's also the Saeco to compare. Again, the navy blue to me looks purple, but it actually coats super easy. Then we have vermilion, the Chevy orange, and that's the NOE 200 or 232 grain is the deal with that. Came out really nice. Next to that is yellow orange, also came out really nice, easy to coat. Then we've got silver base, the Saeco. Again, I can't tell a big difference between the silver base, reflective chrome. Here, I'm going to back this up a little bit. On the very end here, we've got the attempt at copper. So it was 12 parts, 12 teaspoons of copper penny and 1 teaspoon of red. I'm calling it a fail. I mean, you know, is it usable? Sure. I won't buy it again. And you know what I'm going to probably do? I'm just going to mix. I have some red wagon PC left over, which I don't like as much as the ruby red. And I'm just going to mix the copper penny and red wagon and get a red, more red color, I guess. Or get the red to go, get more mileage out of the red. In the back, I've got 3 LBT LFNs, 230 grain, Ford light blue, ruby red, Ford dark blue. So part of the experiment of this video was to find colors that coat the easiest out of Eastwood. So the 3 in the back, Ford light blue, ruby red, Ford dark blue. Then silver base, yellow orange coats real easy. Vermilion takes a little more work, pretty easy though. Next to that is Cadillac blue, real easy. Navy blue, real easy. The smoke, the new smoke chrome, it didn't seem like it was coating easy, but it actually turned out pretty good. Here, let's pull these over. Let's see if I can get these. So, okay, let's hone in on these silver. First one's silver base. The first 2 are silver base. The next 2 are reflective chrome. And then the last 2 are the smoke chrome. And it's real hard to tell between reflective. Actually, if I mixed up the reflective chrome and silver base, I doubt I could separate them. Let me reposition the camera again. The smoke chrome looks kind of like, you know, old lead, and silver base reflective chrome seems like it's a freshly cast bullet, maybe a little shinier. Silver base definitely coated easier. So really the only failure, which I was kind of expecting, is the copper penny. And that's not even pure copper penny. It's 1 teaspoon of the red. But so another part of the test we were doing does 450 degrees until you get a flow. So I was doing that for 10 minutes and then cutting the oven to 400. Did it make a difference? There goes the oven. It didn't seem to make a difference. I don't know. I mean, Eastwood's directions say 450 and then cut the oven. Is it a better coating? I don't know. I mean, maybe more testing, but those are the colors that came out pretty good. I'm actually gonna turn around and show you the oven because I had a problem with the door. The door spring has been failing, and now the oven door won't stay shut. So heat's escaping. So, and what's in the oven is just more yellow and orange cut points. So we're not gonna show you those, but I'll show you what I did to the oven here, and I think you might think it's kind of interesting. So there's the oven. I took a coat hanger, and let me see if I can show you in the back. So there's a little, I don't know what that thing is, just a round thing on the back of the oven, and put one end of the coat hanger there. Got the coat hanger in the front, and that's keeping the door shut. So anyways, that's what we did. So I hope that helps some of you guys if you're looking for new PC colors to use. And that's all I got today. You guys have a great day.